so yeah.
Wow. But I mean, picking up from that, they say each one of each one of us has got their own unique brand in a way. There's no point, trying to be like somebody else because you're looking at them as role models and they're successful and you're trying to copy them. But in the process, you're losing yourself. So there is space for all of us, even those people who are bragging they've got flashy cars or whatever. They will find a space somewhere and they can make even millions or whatever and live a lifestyle like that.
Yeah.
So so how can people be authentic, find their brand? And because I think most of the time for people it's these limiting beliefs again. They'll feel, oh, for what I am, if I use or follow my brand, I can't be as successful because there's no market for that. Or what can I do with that? What would you say to people like that?
Yeah, it's really to do with marketing. There is a place for everyone and there is a niche for everyone these days. So however niche your product is, if there's an interest in what you do, it is just simply a marketing problem. So I would say, some of the most obscure offers I've heard of that people make money by. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were having this interview with this lady in America. And she's built this business around bottling, right? So it's basically growing your own stuff and then putting it into jars.
Okay.
So, look, you might say nobody would pay for that. Yes, they do. They do. It's just a marketing thing. There's plenty of people who want to do something like that. Now, how you actually get out to them, I mean, obviously you have to get out to people who've got the money to pay for your product or service. Yeah. But somewhere like the US, for example, there are people everywhere that have got huge plots of land. They're probably growing a lot of, fruit or vegetables that they can't do anything with. They might be in rural communities where, it's not easy to sell them. I don't really know because, it's not my area. But what I'm saying is that, never think that what you have is not what people want, because it's simply, in the most instances, it is just a marketing problem. Yeah. And what that means is that it's also very, very much and very strongly to do with messaging and positioning. And that is so important, and people understand it in such a superficial way. And obviously, because I worked for, as I said, global advertising agencies on really big brands, then I understand the work that goes into those very simple taglines, for example, like "just do it," or "taste the rainbow," or "you're worth it." The research and the iterations and the customer segmentation and all of that stuff that goes into producing those very simple strap lines that just immediately capture our imagination and they speak to our emotions. I mean, who wouldn't want to taste the rainbow? Isn't that great?
Exactly.
It's like, just do it, stop procrastinating and get out there and live your dreams. It's just, you're worth it. Well, we all spend most of our lives thinking that we're not worth it. So if somebody tells us we are, it provokes some emotion in us. Yeah. So obviously, what you're seeing there with those taglines are, let's just say, the most sophisticated, thinking and research and expenditure, a lot of expenditure behind those. But everybody has to understand that the power of brand and, the power of language and messaging to move people towards a decision. And all I can say is that it's just very important to be very, very clear on who you serve and who you don't serve, because polarity is important, and we are never going to be for everyone. We are for a certain group of people, and the clearer that we can be about that, and the more closely we can speak to them, the better our results will be.
Yeah, that's very key actually, and it's great that. And then now, in terms of leverage, because I mean, people will be listening to this and say, Jane, you've had so much experience and all the things that you've achieved up to now, but how can people will feel it's going to take them a long time to be if they wanted to be in similar situation to you, so many years. Is there a way that they can actually leverage? I mean, in this modern age, there's social media, there's a lot of things which provides opportunities to actually cut through the speed of implementation or getting somewhere. Is there something people can do around that so they don't spend 15 years or 20 years to be somewhere, that they can be much quicker through leverage?
Yes, well, partnerships is the obvious answer. So, if you have it's a very specific offer, one of the things that really slows entrepreneurs down or startups down is just trying to do everything themselves. So really, if you want to grow and you want to shortcut the process of growth, then there are really two main paths that you can take. And one of them is get investment or spend your own money. I mean, if you have it. If you don't, then, put together a business plan and get investment. And then the other option is to partner with people. Yeah. So, for example, I don't know if I can really talk about this, but yeah, I could probably talk about it in a general sense. So my program, for example, is for 5 to 6 figure, mostly entrepreneurs. So they've got started, they've got a product that they want to scale. Whether it's like a course, or there might be 6 to 7 figures, or they might have kind of already got to like 6 figures, but they want to head to 7 figures. So they want to grow, they want to kind of explode their growth. It really depends, because sometimes I work for sort of small businesses, and sometimes I work for just experts, coaches and consultants or whatever. So it can depend. But what I don't do at the moment is I don't have an offer for 7 to 8 figure businesses that scale up. So, because that's a different market. However, that is also my background, because that is what I've done. I exploded the growth of a 7-figure business. When I joined the business, it was already it wasn't a startup. It already had heritage and history. And it already had more or less a kind of residual turnover of around about $1 million. But it had just kind of collapsed a bit for a number of different reasons. So I really do understand the process of scaling from 7 to 8 figures. Yeah. It's just, at the moment I am serving really a slightly different audience, because I prefer to work mostly with individuals and just build relationships with individuals, rather than, go in as a corporate consultant. Yeah. I wanted to kind of get away from that world. Yeah. However, I'm actually at the moment in discussions with a guy who he's starting up a management consultancy. Very, very, very well connected guy. He has a lot of VC contacts and so on. So he said, I've got this model for a new management consultancy, and what we're going to do is that the companies, they'll have to be turning over a minimum of $1 million and be profitable already. But what we're going to do is we're going to explode their growth, help them take their product or service global, establish the right partnerships. It's basically like a management consultancy, but it's an alternative to the big, the big management consultancies that we all know about. So he said, your product or service, it would fit in with this. Yeah. So it's like great, because then they can do all the marketing. He said he'll go and get $500,000 or whatever from a VC. Yeah, they'll put it in as a startup in order to invest in marketing. Yeah. So great. Okay, so you want me to help with the marketing, so I'll come on board as nominally as the kind of marketing commercial director, consultant, whatever, / and then that will then expose my product and my thinking, if you like, to a different market.
Yeah.
Whereas if I had said, I am going to not just appeal to experts and solopreneurs, but I'm also going to appeal to, existing 7-figure businesses who want to scale up to 8, that would have been too much for me to do by myself.
Yeah.
That's a practical example.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Because so I was gonna now ask you to talk us more through the smart connector and what do you do provision wise in terms of business mentorships, mastermind, and also how and where people can find you for your services. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Alex. So the Smart Connector is a brand that I really developed, I suppose, a couple of years ago. And the reason why I chose the name is because, Smart Connection for me, it exists on so many different levels. So you can have a connection with yourself, which is very important. That's obviously the mindset piece. Connection with others, that is the interpersonal piece, and then a connection to many, which is really the marketing piece. So fundamentally, the idea of Smart Connection, it exists on three levels, and it's really about an emotionally intelligent approach to business. So that was the idea behind the Smart Connector business. And in terms of my products, I've just recently launched a program called Ideal Client Success, and a mechanism within it called the CCC Hypergrowth, which is based on 3 principles. So there is connect, create, and convert. So connect is really the messaging piece, where the positioning piece, all the stuff that we've talked about, to enable you to cut through the noise and attract your ideal clients whilst repelling the people who aren't right for you. And even if you're up against the much bigger players in your sector and your sector is oversaturated, which most are at the moment. Yeah. So the idea is stand out above the noise, and that is what the connect piece is about. The create piece is about a digital, an automated product that sits at the heart of it, that actually takes the heavy lifting away from your expert lead generation. So that is that does involve some technology. So obviously there has to be some hand-holding through that, because for people who are, they may be using some digital marketing tools already, but this is a very bespoke funnel. It's not just a drag and drop, which is everywhere, drag and drop sales pages and things like that. It's different. So there's that. And then at the end of it, there is the convert bit, which is really just, how to basically go from that to kind of actually signing up your ideal clients, getting your money in the bank so that you can spend or reinvest it as you see fit. So that's really the program. Yeah. And so I've just launched that. I've done other accelerators as well. I did a finance raising accelerator recently for property investors. So that was really helping new developers actually, get investment for their property deals, actually learn how to approach investors, what to say to them, how to structure it. So I do love to kind of teach and to help people, in areas where they get stuck. I do a little bit of one-to-one as well, but, I tend to really like the kind of buzz of sort of the programs and the accelerators. And I actually really like the online stuff. I've never really done a lot of face-to-face teaching because, I've had children. So the thing about the face-to-face stuff is you have to travel and then you have to be away. And so I like the online stuff because it enables me to be at home and be with my dog and cats and, go out for a walk in the countryside and all of those things. So, and I think people are getting used to it now. I think in the beginning, it was like, I actually attended an online mastermind myself because I also do my own mentoring and masterminds. And so I really missed, and I still do miss that social interaction.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot of fun. But I think what we've got to recognize is that actually you can still get the same results if you don't, if you're not mixing with people personally and it's more fun if you can, and you can have that, that face-to-face interaction. But it doesn't really have an impact on results. You can be sitting in your own home and just, on a Zoom mastermind, and still it can still work in exactly the same way. In some ways better, I think.
No, but at least the key thing is that for you, you've built something around your values, the things that are important to you, and build a successful business around that. And so how can people find you? Which media?
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Well, so I'm very active on all of the social media channels. So LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn more or less daily during the week. So I have a website, www.janebayler.com. If you want to look at my program, just go to idealclientsuccess.com. I also am a partner in a digital marketing platform, so I can talk to you about that as well. And of course, I have a podcast called The Smart Connector, and a best-selling book called The Smart Connector that's all about the power of entrepreneurial relationships. So I try to be as prolific as possible so that people can find me easily. We have to be, don't we, really, Alex?
No, absolutely. But I mean, for me, what I like is just the authenticity and how your personality comes and resonates with everything that you do, which is one of the reasons for me to connect with you and follow you is that vibe that you feel, and you see someone who is doing something that is aligned to what you're doing. So that's been absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to finish with just a light-hearted look into you personally, and how well you know yourself with this or that game. It's just a short game. Give you two things. You pick one as quickly as you can. See how well you know yourself. So if I said cat or dog, for example.
Cat. I've got both, but cat. I'm more of a cat person.
Yeah, so you're a cat person. Okay. Dinner or breakfast?
Oh, dinner. I just have a smoothie for breakfast.
Yeah. So you're not a morning dinner person.
I'm really a night owl. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Beach or mountain?
Beach.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely beach. Yeah. So you love the sun and all that.
I want to go back to Mexico, just get in that amazing Caribbean Sea right up to my waist and feel that warmth. And don't we all want to be there at the moment?
Absolutely. And if you can visualize it like that, it is within your grasp already. So just feel it like you're already there. Yeah?
Oh, yes. Yes.
How about tea or coffee?
Coffee, although I like tea as well.
Coffee person. Text or a call?
Call. Oh, most definitely. I think texts are just for practical arrangements. I don't communicate in any other way on text. No.
Call. Okay. Comedy or drama?
Comedy. Who doesn't like to laugh? Although I also do like dramas. But comedy, it's always good to have a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah. So fiction or true story?
Yeah, true stories. I particularly like, I don't know why, but I love financial crime in particular. I'm very interested in money laundering. Not that I want to do it myself, but it's...
Understanding the psychology of people who are doing it, because it's almost like a game for them as well, isn't it? Who is smarter? Like, how can you avoid all the different rules and things? It can be fascinating.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, the whole drug trade, for example, it's all full of entrepreneurs. Really, they're very, they'd probably be very talented business people if you drop them into another environment. Unfortunately, they've just got into this place because nobody really showed them how to make the same amount of money legitimately. So they end up in this kind of horrible place where they're just putting their lives in danger and endangering other people. But when you actually kind of read about them, or you read about their stories, or about people, as I said, I also like into financial crime and so on, you just realize that they've just gone wrong.
Yeah.
That they had all the right instincts, but they've gone wrong. And I think that's the thing that I find, I find interesting, because, as I said, I'm very interested in how people make money and, what decisions they make. And that goes right across the board, from illegal to all the way to legal. Although, of course, I would never go there myself. But I'm just interested in the psychology of people and where it all went wrong for them to make those wrong decisions when they could have made the right ones.
Yeah. Wow. And finally, last but not least, freedom or hope?
Freedom. Yeah. Freedom is I think a big goal for so many people, isn't it? Just the freedom to choose.
Yeah.
The freedom to live your life the way you want, I think is just the most powerful thing that anybody can aspire to, really.
Yeah. But then doesn't hope sort of carry you to achieve wherever you want to go to some extent?
Everybody has to have a dream. I believe that no matter how young you are, old you are, wherever you are in the world, whatever resources you have at your disposal, having a dream it just keeps you going, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Jane, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, sharing with us your journey and the golden nuggets within that. So I'm sure our listeners are going to enjoy listening to this episode. So it's been very kind of you to come and speak to us. So I'm sure we'll be in touch. We are already following you and in the Facebook group and everything else that you do. But it's really been an absolute pleasure hosting you on the Business Growth and Mindset podcast. So any last words you'd like to say to our listeners? Last words, wisdom?
Yeah, well, I just like to say, I know that people listening to these podcasts, they often, they want to get inspiration and they just want to come away feeling good. So I want to say, never, ever give up on your dream, just to reiterate that. Even if things are tough for you right now, even if, maybe COVID has hit you hard or you're struggling a bit for money, just know that everything changes, everything, that there's a season for everything. And as long as you keep going, that you will get there in the end, and just keep believing that.
Yeah. Brilliant. That's a perfect way to end. Thanks again.
You're very welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alex.